Hola! Today we are going to talk about how to ask and give directions. There is a saying in Spanish, todos los caminos llevan a Roma. There are a couple different ways to ask directions, to ask how to get to a place. Let's say that you want to go to the Avenida Álvaro Obregón, which is here. So one way of asking for directions how to get there is ¿Cómo puedo ir a? How can I get to Avenida Álvaro Obregón? Right? ¿Cómo puedo ir a la Avenida Álvaro Obregón? Another way is ¿Dónde está la Avenida Álvaro Obregón? Where is the Avenida Álvaro Obregón? Or ¿Sabe dónde está la Avenida Álvaro Obregón? Do you know where the avenue is? Lastly, you can also ask, ¿Cómo puedo llegar a? ¿Cómo puedo llegar a la Avenida Álvaro Obregón? So let's go through the three of them. ¿Cómo puedo ir a? ¿Dónde está? ¿Sabe dónde está? ¿Cómo puedo llegar a? Remember, the a in this context means to. There are some words and useful expressions to ask and give directions. For example, you can say, oh, estoy perdida, or estoy perdido. I am lost. Remember, perdido is an adjective, and if you're a male, you say perdido. If you're a female, you say perdida. Estoy perdida. La intersección. La intersección. La calle. Remember, double L sounds here. Calle. La avenida. La esquina. La esquina is where two calles meet. The corner. A mano derecha, to the right. A la derecha de, to the right of. A mano izquierda, to the left. A la izquierda de, to the left of. A pie, by foot. Hasta, until. For example, if you want to say, camine hasta ver la zapatería. Walk until you see the shoe store. Primera, segunda. For example, la primera calle. La segunda calle. So how do we give directions? It's very easy. If you are talking to someone formally, if you don't know this person, you want to use a polite command. And this is how you form the polite command. You're telling them what to do. You're telling them go straight, walk for 3 blocks, then turn on the first street, and you'll find whatever place they're looking for, right? So how do we form those polite commands? Remember, these are when you're giving directions to someone formally. If the verb is an AR, ends in AR, you drop the ending and add E if you're giving the directions to one person. If you're giving the directions to more than one person, right, you add EN. For example, doblar, to turn. If you're giving the direction to one person and you're saying turn on the first street, doble en la primera calle. If the verb ends in ER and IR, you drop the ending and add A or AN for more than one person. If you want to say turn left, you can use the verb doblar or girar. They both mean the same thing, to turn. So they are AR verbs, so you drop the ending and add E. Doble a la izquierda, gire a la izquierda. And these are commands, you're giving directions to one person. Right? How about turn right? Doble a la derecha o gire a la derecha. How about walk? Camine. Continue straight. Siga derecho o siga recto o siga de frente. They all mean the same thing. Cruce, cross. Tome, take. Pare, stop. And salga, leave or go out. So let's see if we remember some of these useful phrases and commands. So I'll show you a phrase or command and you tell me the number that describes this command or vocabulary word. Estoy perdido. Did you say number 1? Yes. La calle. Did you say number 3? Muy bien. La avenida. Right here. Número 9. La intersección. Número 2. A pie. Número 8. Camine. Número 6. Doble a la izquierda. Número 7. Siga recto o siga derecho. Número 5. A la derecha de. Número 4. Excelente. Muy bien. Remember, this is the rule to give directions in español, right? If it's an AR verb, you drop the ending and add E or EN for more than one person. In ER and IR, drop the ending and then add E or EN for more than one person. Sometimes there is a change in the stem in these verbs when you give directions in these polite command forms. So to find out, to know if there is a stem change in these command forms, what you want to do is conjugate the verb in the yo form in the present tense, and whatever change happens, it happens there in the yo form of the present tense. For example, the verb salir in the yo form present tense is salgo, and then you just drop the o, because that is for yo, I leave, right? Drop the o and add a for one person or an for more than one person. So leave, that would be the command salga, right? For the verb seguir, in the yo form is sigo, so there is a stem change from e, the e in the stem from e to I, and in the yo form in the present. The command form is siga, continue, right? Or sigan if you're giving the command to more than one person. The verb hacer in the yo form is hago, so there is a stem change, and the command form is haga or hagan. There is an exception to this rule. There's two verbs, dar and ir, the command form de vaya. In vaya, have you heard this expression, vaya con Dios? Go with God. Remember those cargar, sar verbs? When the verb ends in cargar or sar in the infinitive form, when the verb is not conjugated, what you want to do is conjugate the verb in the yo form in the preterite to find out if there is a change in the stem. For example, the verb buscar in the yo form in the preterite is busqué, and it has an accent mark in the preterite. In the command form, when you give directions, is busque, no accent. Cargar, cargué is in the preterite, and cargue is the command form. Cruzar in the preterite is crucé, and the command form is cruce with no accent. For example, busque la zapatería López. Look for, right, the shoe store López. So to summarize, this is the general rule to form the command forms, right? You add E or EN for AR verbs, A or AN for ER and IR verbs. For example, doble a la izquierda. To find out if there is a stem change in the verb when you give a command, when you give directions, conjugate the verb in the you form in the present tense, right? And you'll have the stem change there. And then just add the corresponding ending to form the command form. When you have a cargar verb, conjugate the verb in the yo form in the preterite, not the present tense, to find out if there is a stem change. And remember, the command forms have no accent marks. ¿Estás listo para preguntar o dar direcciones? Muy bien. Excelente.